got Coretta. Pop perks set, help me feel better. Set the trend, I'm a trendsetter. I'm not a rest, still getting cheddar. Out of my wrist, timeless.
Welcome back. This is probably the last drive in the Audi TTRS. We got a buyer. I had it posted for about a month. Typically cars like this that are pretty higher priced, you take a little bit of sale. I wasn't expecting to sell it before the grand opening of Absolute Wraps, but possibly it might be sold today, so we're gonna see what happens. The guy actually checked the car out yesterday and he liked it, so he told me to meet up the next morning. We're gonna be meeting at Absolute Wraps again, and possibly Audi should be sold. So this will be the last final drive. Was the car everything I expected? I'd say yes. The car is a very great car. The sound is crazy. Beautiful car. It's rare. I think this is the only car that I've owned that my whole entire time of owning it, I don't think I've seen another one. So if you do want to pick up one of these cars, just put in mind if you're going to mod it, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. Just for basic bolt-ons. I wouldn't even say basic bolt-ons, but full bolt-ons and everything, you're going to be around, depending on what brand you go with and everything, it could stack up to like $10,000 to $15,000 worth of mods. I lost audio right here. I guess I didn't charge my mic and it ended up dying as I took him on a test drive in the Audi. So I have to do a little quick voiceover real quick. Basically, I'm taking him out on the car simply because, you know, I always like to take people out and make sure they enjoy the car and they see anything that they might have a question about, anything like that. He specifically said he usually doesn't even test drive cars that he buys, but, you know, a lot of people don't do that, but he already knew it was a great car. I mean, he checked it out. People watch my channel. They see everything I do to the cars, and they know I baby my stuff. So I was able to give him a pull, take him in the car, and give him a rundown of some of the things he can try. You know, the rolling anti-lag, two-step, basically how to control everything in the car. As far as what I want next, I don't even know. Here's a quick pull that I gave him so you guys can see it. Yeah, that that gave him a shock right there. That's what I like to build my cars for, man, to see people smile on their face. But basically, you know, I don't know what I want next. A lot of cars are getting stolen left and right. I was thinking about like a C7, Z06 again, or even a Z01, but those things are getting stolen like hotcakes. You can't feel comfortable taking those nowhere. Maybe a resto mod, a Fox body with upgraded interior or something. I don't know. Chargers and Challengers are nice looking cars. Don't have anything against them, but I'm just not a big fan of the community of them, and they are stolen. Like, people are getting killed over those cars, which is ridiculous. And crazy thing is, for our grand opening, we had a ton of them here. And a prime example of why I don't want one, you'll see in the next clip with the grand opening of why I don't want to be in that community. But here we go. All right, the Audi TTRS is sold. My guy here picked it up, pulled up in his GTR. Just picked up the Audi, so it'll be going to his new owner. That was my last drive with that car. we have the E-Ride Pro SR, man. I got the 3.0 right here. This is the 3.0. If you guys are watching my last video, you've seen when I picked this bike up. But now we have the big brother to this bike, the SR. Cannot wait for this 25 kilowatt bike. That one's about 16 kilowatts, so this is nearly double the power of that bike. I'm ready to test it out, and then I'll give you guys the reasons why I went ahead and picked up the SR versus the 3.0. Alright guys, so we are on the E-Ride Pro SR. This is my first ride with this thing, group ride. I literally just took it out of the box, came out here for a group ride. Like, this is my first time on it. We got a good little amount of people, like 12, 13 people out. So I'm testing the bike out, getting a feel for it, and give you guys some comparisons of the 3.0 compared to this bike. All right guys, welcome to this segment of my channel, man. This is like a different type of thing that I usually do from the car content, but I've gotten to the PEV side of things, the e-bike side, and I really enjoyed this type of content and this type of I guess hobby, you could say. So I ended up picking up the E-Ride Pro 3.0, and then I got the E-Ride Pro SR literally yesterday. So I wanted to do a quick comparison to these bikes for you guys, if you guys want to buy one of each one, to let you know like the differences between them, as I've ridden both of them. The 3.0 is an excellent bike. The battery is probably just slightly smaller than that one. You get 16 kilowatts, 15.8 kilowatts out of the 3.0 compared to the E-Ride Pro SR. The fender is different. A lot of people didn't show this, but I still got the plastic on there, but it's more of a there's a little curves right here, but this one is more of a big dirt bike style fender. And then one thing people don't really let you guys know, they kind of look the same size, but after riding both, the SR seems slightly bigger. Seems like a bigger bike. I don't know if it's just because of the tires or what, but it does feel bigger, and you can feel it because of the weight. The SR does weigh, I think, like 20 pounds heavier, and moving this bike around is definitely much more of a task than moving the 3.0. The 3.0 is so easy to move around. It's a light bike. I think it's like 160-ish pounds. Not that heavy a bike. Now, as far as power-wise, just to give you a description of why I chose this bike, I like stuff that scares me. I like things that are wild. I like, you know, things that make me chill out, like humble me, you know. And I build fast cars, and that's what I'm used to if you're used to my channel. This bike can do that to you. With the tuning-wise, if you turn that thing up into race mode, it's serious. Like, it's hard to keep the bike down, which that's not something that everybody wants. You know, everybody doesn't want a bike that's crazy like that. Everybody doesn't want a bike that's ridiculous like that. I kind of like that factor. This bike is refined. I say the throttle is still a little, could be refined more, but this bike is refined. You could get this out the box, brand new 3.0, and it feels like the amount of power is perfect. Sport mode will pick the tire up really nice. It's not excessive. This bike seems excessive sometimes. Like, it is cool. You know, I get to tweak it and tune it. I can turn it down. But what's the point of turning it down if you bought the bike to have that power, you know? The main thing about the SR, the throttle. I saw the reviews about that. The throttle is a little weird. I don't know if they're going to come out with an update about that. But the throttle, like the first 2/4 of the turn, there's literally nothing there. It's like literally nothing. And then it's like once you go one more click, boom, power. So it's a little hard to learn wheelies and do things on this bike for me right now, just because of the way the throttle is. So hopefully they can test that out. I've been tuning it, trying to turn it down so that the throttle is not crazy, because I took it on my first group ride last night in sport mode. I was usually like, sport mode on this is perfect. Like, you do wheelies nice, you can feel comfortable hitting wheelies. I was getting used to it on this, even though the throttle's not perfect on this bike. This one, it was like I would get the bike up, and once I hit it a little more, it felt like the bike was gonna fucking loop on me. So it's like, it's really, you know, it needs to be refined. The tune needs to be refined. You can tune it all in the app, but it's just not, the app is just not 100%. This bike feels like it's good from where it is. Even eco mode lifts on this bike. Eco mode, you can do wheelies on this bike. Eco mode on this bike, I've turned the acceleration up, but I can't get it to literally kind of pop up on eco mode on this bike, which is weird, but it does it on the 3.0. The tuning on this bike is just great. This bike is like, when you get it, the tuning, you're on your own. So, you know, you could probably look up different tunes in forums and stuff like that, but I think that's what the community is going to see, is they're going to go through the tunes on the forum, and everybody's going to be looking at different tunes and everything. But I feel like I'd give, if I'm judging both bikes, I'd give the 3.0 rating out of a 10. I'd give it like I'd say an 8.5, 9. I'd give it like a 9. Let's say a 9. This bike, I'd give it like a 8.75, just because of the heaviness of the bike. It is a heavy bike to move around. I feel like this bike is starting to edge towards dirt bike territory. It feels like a dirt bike, like a 250cc dirt bike that you're moving around. This one still feels like an e-bike. The 3.0 does, at least. So, you know, you got to think about that if you're going to pick up both bikes. Now let's get inside. We do have different tires. The suspension is slightly different on the 3.0. This battery is much smaller than the SR. Like the SR, you can't even put your finger in there at all. There's no space for nothing. This one, you can kind of tuck your finger in there. So that shows you how much wider the battery is. The cables are different. The terminals for the battery are different. The fender is different. Everything else is damn near identical. The motor is different on this bike. I believe it's a 25 kilowatt motor, 16 kilowatt motor. I think the shock is the same. Tires are obviously get knobbies on the SR, which make the bike feel a little bit heavier when you're moving it around. I got my little decals on there. Heard the Nerd. Make sure you follow my Instagram and what is TikTok. So hit that subscribe button. Got my JBL speaker on here, my phone holder, my little bag. I got some LEDs that I got mounted under there. I need to finish my spokes. I'm gonna finish them in black with just like a hint of lime. I didn't get time yesterday since I took it out on that group ride. But like I said, the throttle, like literally, this is nothing, and then it's all power. This one is good. This one you don't have to worry about anything. My bad. Nice throttle. But sadly, the 3.0 is actually sold. I'm going to deliver it to the buyer right now. So we're selling the 3.0. We're going to stick with the SR. Hopefully some updates come through that app and some tuning updates, and then we can mess with that bike. But yeah, these are my two bikes. I'd say preferably, most people, I think you should go with this one. I would say most people should go with the 3.0. It's a great bike. It's fun. This one, I think the top speeds are damn near identical. If we're talking top speeds, I've been 67 on that bike. I got this one up to 67 last night. I believe this was supposed to go 70 plus. But like I said, when this one comes out with updates, people change that controller, do a couple things. This bike can be just almost as quick as this bike. But this bike just probably has more opportunity, I can say. Just because the motor's already bigger. You already got a nice size battery. So maybe with a separate controller, you can unlock some power. But this one, I'm pretty sure you can do the same. You just got a smaller frame here. This one not as heavy. Really, it's just the battery. The fact that this one has a app option. But it's just, even with the app option, the app is just not tuned perfectly. It doesn't work great. So they need to refine that. But other than that, man, Bike has been great. I did have some issues assembling it when it came in. One of the strips, one of the bolts for the axle nuts was stripped, so I had to fucking cut that out, which is ridiculous. That pissed me off. And then learning the app, putting everything together. This bike was already put together when I purchased it, and it's been doing great. Not an issue with this bike. So my preference, for me personally, I like the SR better just because of the power. But if I was to recommend both bikes to somebody, I would definitely recommend the 3.0 over the SR. That's just me. But this has been a quick comparison of both bikes. Pops a sport mode.
Whole different power, boy.
It's a whole
It's a whole different ball game right here, boy. Ball game right here. They don't know how to ride a bike. They better not get on this. They don't know how to ride. They better not get on this.
Yeah. Got the selling it. He's gonna be the new owner of the 3.0.